What's up, everyone? It's Chris here. Just watching a game of Songsong against Project Belgium. So it looks like Project Belgium's got Lithuanians here. It's on Arabia. And Songsong in the red here has got Ethiopians. So both strong Arabia civs, I would say. Probably random civ is how they got here. And Songsong's an interesting player. He does a lot of strange strategies. He's sometimes lames. Project Belgium is a consistent player that's really strong on one-on-one Arabia. Actually, my teammate at one point in time. And just looking at the map here, if we're looking from his perspective, you did notice some sheep here, and he sees his other two sheep there. And as you can see, look how fast Songsong is to his base. So you gotta be watchful. The second you see that, start dodging. And I'd often send a lot of my resources in at this point in time because you know he's out there trying to do some laming. But Project Belgium is calmly pushing his deer, knowing that if he loses two sheep or anything like that, getting the deer will often be a hedge against that. He's also kind of baiting his opponent to, you know, and by waiting for that, he's seen that boar was being tapped, and he was just waiting. That's a very smart move. He obviously, you know, might not know for sure that he's going this way or exactly where he's going, but he did see that he moved out. So, and the second you see him, okay, so you got a lot of choices here. He's going to try and block at the start here. If you block the boar, it'll stop running, which means that's wasted hit points, 20 hit points there. And in all honesty, I think this is a great start for Project Belgium. And at the same time, if you look at Songsong's base, he hasn't found his 4 sheep. Hopefully he's found the boar, or else he's in a lot of trouble here. He does have 4 on wood. And it looks like Project Belgium's also got 4 on wood. They're probably both going to do some sort of Drush Men-at-Arms strategy, I would guess. And we'll see here. House, yeah. Now, obviously, when you don't scout that back gold, you do have to be aware that both your stones are very forward and both your golds are extremely forward. So sometimes when you build a wall, or you know, let's say you're on your way to Feudal Age, you might even start building this way or across here, just to try and give you some easier access, and maybe this way as well. And they are 2 back lumber camps, so that's actually kind of nice, I would say. I'd be more worried about the other resources in a game like this. The mill is also in the back, which is kind of nice. Well, we look at Songsong's base and see how it's going here. So has he found his sheep? There's 2 sheep still sitting there. He found other 2, okay. And he did find both his boars, so while he did take a bit of a risk going that forward, it seems like he's still found most of his resources, and we'll probably be okay here. It's also Ethiopians, which gets 100 food and 100 gold at the second you hit Feudal Age, which can really help as well. And he is going for a barracks here. And it is kind of, I mean, I guess you're kind of well into the TC there. That's another, instead of going across, that's another reasonable way to do it. You could go down this way a little bit, cross this way. And then this one's obviously a long-term, you know, take a little while to wall that out. He has made it, I am a fan of mills like this. You've made it so that you can do, you know, basically 3 tiles of palisade walls. Oh, he is going for the laming. After Songsong did what he did earlier, I think that's fair. But you can easily palisade wall this in if you have an enemy Drush or Men-at-Arms or anything like that. So, and he is going up very quickly here. Pop 20. And it looks definitely like a Men-at-Arm build here. With Lithuanians, which makes sense. I mean, the extra 150 food, so you do have to watch for villagers that get idle like this. Chasing the scout. Okay, now Songsong, yeah, okay, he's walling across this way, okay. And he's going to be able to, the one thing about Songsong's base here is he's going to be able to close in quite easily. But he does have a Well, I guess he does have a forward gold too, the main gold, but his back gold is off to the side here, which might be a little easier to use if needed. And it will be interesting, as you don't find all the games end like this, but sometimes you'll find one opponent goes, they skip each other essentially and go to each other's base. In which case, it's kind of a walling game. Yeah, you try and limit the damage to you while maximize the damage to your opponent. Now, I don't think... we're going to watch this. Let's pause it for a second and switch perspectives, because this is a critical moment. The second you see the drush here, you have to tap every single one of these, and maybe even build houses, and maybe use a second or third villager. So he sees the scout coming. Yeah, and he is. Okay. It's going to be tough to do. He is going all the way, so he's going to do this to the TC too. Good quick walls by Songsong here. Ooh, with their men in arms now, it's going to be really tough to hold on to this. I've noticed that with men in arms, people don't repair the Dark Age feudal palisade walls anymore. They just build behind them. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's the danger of building gates. Sometimes you go through. That's one villager. Ooh, this is getting dicey. It's a second. He did take a little bit of damage for it, but... And he only did one militia, so... This is looking quite sketchy, I would say, at the moment. He did find his other sheep there. Oh, that's annoying. You can't get your berries anymore either. So looking at Project Belgium, what's he doing here? So he is doing archers and sending 2 forward, and also just did a blacksmith. He did wall everything in too. He was expecting men at arms from his opponent, so kind of a smart strategy to pre-wall that in. And I think here Project Belgium needs to recognize, yeah, he is recognizing it. This is open. Oh, and Songsong traps him in, and see, the thing is though, the second those archers, if they go right for this spot, and that's exactly where I would be going first, you're forcing them to run essentially. Looks like a pretty clean economy too. How's Songsong doing? So he's only behind by 1 villager, and he does have a tower up here, but his economy might be a little slower just because he'll be a little bit lower on food. But yeah, the second these archers get here, you got a problem. I think they're in range. Yeah, with fleshing, they're in range. So yeah, try and run in a way that... And you want to use 1 to block here, but I think he's going to get it anyway. Oh, he's trying to block with the archer. Okay, 1 out of 2 is still good. He's gonna break out of here. Probably an accidental flare, I guess. So he's got 29 villagers. Let's just pause here. Well, let's just look here. 29. He's got a market, and Project Belgium's 14 on food. He decided to get Town Watch. And got a couple hundred food here. Actually, it's, you know, I think Project Belgium probably up first, and he'll have a couple more villagers, but it's actually less of an advantage than I would have thought. I thought it would have been more. I think he's just going to use, well, some people say use, some people say abuse the market to go up. So Songsong is going for a counterattack here, and this is where often in games it still makes sense. You know, instead of getting Town Watch and always having to watch for armies, sometimes it just makes sense to do a thin layer of palisade walls, even on both sides, and then just have your army a single unit or two patrolling where you don't wall. But and it looks like Project Bell is going to do that actually, but he might be in for a slight surprise here. Let's watch this. Yeah, so he is going to get at least a villager, maybe more. Yeah, this one's probably going down too. 2, okay. This is being a really strong counterattack. I think it's just because it surprised Project Belgium. That's another one. Oh, maybe not. Gets away with 1 hit point. Look at that. And he's also trying to do damage at the same time. But Songsong does have it much easier here in that he can just build another lumber camp over here. And, or even over here. That works too. But I do think it's good. This is going to come down a little bit who gets to the next stage first. And I think that'll be Project Belgium. 600 food, 200 gold. 400 food, 200 gold. Yeah, so it'll be close, but Songsong also only has 5 on food, so he's really got to do this the hard way. Which is buying a ton of food, which gets more expensive every time you do it, right? So and he could have rebuilt his mill. I mean, this is all closed off now. Probably would have been a good idea. Yeah, India's up to the next stage. And it looks like he's elected to go Knights. So, always a good choice, Lithuanians. Not always, but typically. When you have this many archers, it's not bad to go archers either. And he really picked off a few of them there. He is still making archers, okay. 2 stables. And he is kind of doing the box wall. I mean, this is completely fine. It's a little open on this side, but it's not looking like it's going to matter. And the other thing that I will point out is Songsong did have to build a tower. I mean, maybe not, but it's definitely a smart idea to do that when you're in a dicey situation. So he does have to win the military fight in this game. Because you can't boom as quickly when you have to gather more stone. So that might slow him down. 37 villagers, he's on the way to Castle Age. 38, and he's Project Belgium's faster to Castle Age. And I think if you do 2 stable knights and you go hit this tower with, you know, 4 knights and 12 crossbows, like especially if you have the armor upgrade, it could be really dicey. So we'll see here. Is he going to get the upgrade to go forward? Yep. Didn't get Bodkin, but that's okay. Alright, so now the question becomes, can Songsong defend this? And obviously if he goes for the wood, that's going to be a problem. Does he know that's there? So you can see that there's wood chopping there because you can see the trees kind of half fallen, even through the fog of war. That's a useful trick you can use at any skill level. See where your opponents are. And he is walling it, but it is still very dicey here. Building a town center here. And knights and crossbows, so. Now, of course, Songsong is being a little sneaky here, coming around for the sneak attack, but the question really is can he live long enough to deliver that? And I'm going to suggest yes. Because it looks like the second he gets the upgrades at home, he's got roughly the same amount of crossbows as Project Belgium does. And, man, if those snuck around, it would be a really big deal here. Even going for the gold could be a big deal. Okay, let's see this. There's 2 spots here, so we'll watch both. This is actually a pretty good counterattack, I'm going to say. And he's holding a home, and Ethiopian archers are good for that. Especially because you have a town center to run to. Project Belgium is realizing this is coming, and he's power building his second town center. Definitely a good idea. And I guess you can slow him down a little bit with some palisades. It's good. 40 villagers against 42. No, even though he had such a poor start, Songsong's still in this for sure. I will say that the one major difference between the two of them right now is that Project Belgium is able to boom while with 3 TCs, while Songsong isn't. But at the same time, if this does any serious damage, it could be a big deal. So. Well, let's see here. Good reactions. Songsong a little slow on that one, but only loses 1 archer. Not bad. Now 4 knights, can they clean this up? It's time to run away. You always want to shoot and run. Which is what he's doing here. Now the knights will clean it up, but it was pretty close. And arms over here, okay. Now the one thing I will say, yeah, you definitely want to have a siege shop when you're dealing with just archers. It's usually a good idea. It also feels like there's too many in gold at the moment, with 800 gold there. So he did buy a second. Oh no, he'd mined stone for a second town center. That's good. Now the most important part right here, I would say for Songsong, if you realize that your opponent has gone 3 town centers, you have to be pushing in some way, shape, or form, and you probably have to do it strategically. I think that one of the good ideas, if you see this map, is you realize this is a forward gold, that's a forward gold, that's a forward gold. I think your goal should be denying your opponent gold, and I think you need to get a blacksmith. There's not a blacksmith, a university right away here. Because you're not going to catch up on the boom very easily. Yeah, as you can see, you know we said it was 42 to 40 villagers? Now it's 63 to like 46. And Project Belgium even gets another one here. Never a good idea to delete your walls until you're ready to do something out here, I don't think. Now, I will say the one disadvantage of attacking with crossbows is that mangonels are very good to deal with them, especially if you don't have any knights on the field or any sort of unit to deal with them. So I would say this makes it much easier to boom, and commonly that's the strategy you want to go with, is add a few mangonels when you're booming, and if you're against mass crossbows. And if the enemy starts adding like a single stable knights, you add 1 monastery. Use those monks to get relics and also to convert knights, and try and keep them near mangonels near your town centers. Good shot there. Obviously you want to repair this. He is trying to sneak one around here. I do like that. He hasn't seen any sort of units from his opponent that would kill mangonels out in the open, so you can surprise them. Especially in a spot where it's like not near your base. Oh, here we go. Ooh, nice hit. That's 3 mangonels. Yeah, that's a... Oof. See how y'all got flattened there. And another set. Man, those archers fire so fast. There's a slew of dead villagers in their wake. I don't think you ever try and out-micro 3 mangonels. Just my opinion, but... I mean, you definitely can. It looks like Songsong has, and he's killed 1 mangonel, but... It's tougher than it looks. Especially if your opponent's good with mangonels and they know how to attack. Even if they just right-click on, 3 different crossbows. It gets pretty tough pretty quick. So he is pushing his town center here. He's trying to sneak in and do some damage. Not bad. He did lose 6 crossbows for that, but... And a few more there. Okay, I think it's time to go. The other thing I want to recommend is that if you're going knights with Lithuanians, and you didn't go too many, but if you are, definitely add some monks. You decide to go lead skirms instead. Definitely a possible option here. Lithuanians got fast lead skirms and now he's not touching either stone. When you're at 100 population, usually you want to have some stone miners, but it does look like it's kind of a pain here because of the way they're located. Now, this is the part where Songsong's way behind in economy, 25 villagers. But he's also, I'm going to say, definitely ahead in military. He's got a lot of archers coming, kind of scattered all over the map here, a few different groups. But if you're ever ahead in economy, you just want to make enough units to kill your opponent's army and go counter units, and he's doing that exactly. He's got knights and skirms here. Now for Songsong, it's probably hard to watch a few spots at once because he's got this going on and this. Oh, one more shot here. Yeah, as you can see, the skirms, especially with +2 armor on the skirms and the knights, they do fine against archers. Now, Project Belgium's farming like crazy and adding his second gold here. He's probably almost preparing to go Mass Castle Age or go Imp. And it looks like Imp. I'd actually probably recommend against that in this situation. Just because you want this hill. And I think you take this hill before you click Imp. But it's hard to say. Okay, he is trying to take this hill. Good stuff. And Songsong's adding knights, it looks like. Camels, okay, yeah, makes sense. Especially against Lithuanian skirms and knights. But this is where you definitely want those monks. Is he doing monks? So all you viewers, I think most of you know, but Lithuanians, for every relic they pick up, they get +1 attack on their knights and their elite unit. If you get 4 relics, I think that's the max. You know, knights almost, you know, they get comparable to fighting camels. This is a really bad fight. You know, lose a lot of his army, I think, and this definitely opens up the potential for a comeback. And yeah, he is going Imperial, that's why. So if you ever spend 2,000, you know, it's almost 2,000 resources on going to Imperial Age, you really want to make sure you don't lose your army on the way up. Because as you can see, look how close the score is. It was pretty much game over a few minutes ago, and now it's looking very dicey. I still think Project Belgium probably has this, but it's definitely not as clear-cut anymore. Especially since his one of his other golds is out there. This one's almost out. So you're relying on this gold mine and maybe the market to get enough army to... Good shot there. He's got 2,000 food here too. I mean, you obviously have very strong economy, but you need to spend it right away. Knights like have skirms, buildings, production buildings, more on wood. You need it all because if you don't clear this area, like let's say a castle goes up here, and this gold starts running out, you're in trouble there. At the same time, I would still say, let's see how many villagers. 100 villagers for Songsong. He's just about to click up. 122, 2,000 food. And the castle on this hill, it feels to me like Project Belgium's still in the driver's seat, but not by a lot. By a bit. He needs to get the armor upgrade for the cavalry right when he hits the next stage. And enough cavalry units to essentially take this army out. And this siege tower is coming. You don't see this very often, but let's see if he hops the wall. So sometimes too, food is nice to sell when you got this much of it. Oh, those villagers are not seeing this coming. So he is getting the relics. He did find this gold. That's going to be a saver for sure. That's good. So there's a lot of knights, but you got this much food? I think it's just getting the wet upgrade too. Oops. But if you got this much food, light cav everywhere. Hussars. Just enough buildings to build them all. I'd probably sell 1,000 of it too, and something like that, and build more knights, but you just want to get it out the door as soon as you can. And by the way, this is a really good strategy from Songsong. If you're able to get the castle age advantage by just building a little bit more army than your enemy, build a castle on that hill. Definitely hard to attack that down the road, and it gives you a point of essentially a centralized spot where you can hit your opponent and they have a harder time finding you. So he is stonewalling. If he doesn't finish, oh, interesting. He does have enough camels to probably deal with this. It's hard to say though. They are castle age camels. So this is very interesting. We got 2 relics, so these are getting stronger, that's for sure. And is he getting paladin? Yes, he is. And a market, good. Now Ethiopians don't have bloodlines, so that makes these a little weaker. Yeah, it looks like he did use some of his food up here. Castle on this hill, that makes sense. So obviously Ethiopian archers get monstrous when they get 6+4. 6+3 is not bad either, but paladins do get an extra pierce armor, so they do fine against archers. And heavy camels protecting. This is actually, it's weird because I'm gonna say this was a, felt like a likely game to win, but it's just gotten a lot harder because of, and you see there's a hole here. I hope you've seen that, but maybe not. This is definitely a pretty good push here. 23 paladins? I don't know. I don't know if that's enough. He's got a ton of economy to keep backing it up, but with 7 attack, it's they're pretty monstrous, so might be all right. But now this is definitely a game. This is a game, because I'm going to say Songsong has the hill advantage. He's got a full economy that he was looking for. He's stonewalled a lot of the basin, maybe not fully with this hole here, but I think there's still a hole there. Maybe he fixed it. But, and he doesn't have any relics, but he does have the hill, and he does have access to Project Belgium's gold, as well as one of the secondaries. He does have less villagers though, so I will say there's something about this where if you have more army, you want to typically be fighting, but now it actually looks like this looks like a pretty crazy fight. I'm actually really curious to see how this goes. Now, he lost a lot of camels. You can see like 8 or 9 camels there for that one bombard cannon. I'm going to say that was not worth it, I don't think. You need those heavy camels to deal with these paladins, and if you don't, I mean, obviously the archers shoot extremely fast, but still. So you watch the camels just kind of get melted here. 8 camels trying to kill 1 bombard cannon, and down to 1. It's pretty painful, actually. Those bombard cannons really got their money's worth. Now this is where it gets really dicey, because paladins just eat our blasts. but pikemen do help here. He is uphill too with Ethiopian archers. They're nothing to fool around with either. And he's doing exactly right, hit and run here. That is close. That was a close fight. Now, when you got 20 shooting out of here, these castle age arrows are very deadly. But this castle looks like it's still going down. And I think if this is a very critical juncture, if Project Belgium gets this hill, I think he's got this game. And there's also another relic here. As well as without a ton of heavy camels, it's hard to deal with these skirmishers. Halberdiers and Arbalests are kind of both countered by the skirms. And Paladins are definitely doing pretty good here too, so. Looks like some camel raids on the side. He's got a few raiding on the side too. I actually think this is one of those games where when you see your opponent stonewalled most of the base, most of the map, you just want to push forward in the middle. Just if you can. I mean, obviously don't take any stupid fights, but now here's where really smart by Project Belgium, just baiting all the halberdiers to go for the skirms and then using the paladins to go for the arbalests. Kind of ate half the arbalest there. Obviously the paladins did take some decent damage from the halbs, but yeah, when you got that many skirms left over and the trebs and about to get the hill, that's game over. But definitely a fun game to watch. Good job by both these players. Especially by Songsong for hanging in there just after such a rough start. And then Project Belgium really put the wheels turning when he did that boom. And I think if he pressed his advantage a bit on this hill with a few more units, probably would have had it. But he probably didn't see the amount of counterattacking army that Songsong was doing. And he really did 3 archery ranges, ballistics, and all that stuff. So, very good game. Hope you guys enjoyed it.